If you look at the trillions of dollars around the world that is looking for sustainable places to invest in sustainable vehicles and sustainable industry, then tropical North Queensland is absolutely the best place, the best solution. We look at the opportunity in the development of the biofuel sector. We have a well-established sugarcane industry here. We have an opportunity to provide the farming sector with a sustainable baseline of ongoing income. And by supplementing sugar production, we can actually provide an answer not just to the world's challenge on action on climate change, but really be part of the renewable transition.
The sustainable aviation fuel sector is growing at a huge rate globally, mainly driven by mandates. So whether you believe that the aviation sector needs to decarbonise or not, this SAF industry is taking off, literally, and growing at a huge rate. And we think North Queensland can play a huge role in both the production of feedstock and the manufacture of SAF to support our local as well as international aviation sector. Yeah, there's a number of benefits beyond decarbonisation that the sustainable aviation fuel industry can provide. First of all, it's jobs. We're talking 1,000 construction jobs, 100 full-time jobs, implications through the supply chain of oil and gas, of aviation and tourism and agriculture. That's hundreds of thousands of people. So a lot of positives around jobs. Secondly, we provide fuel security. And last but not least, the marine sector, where we produce around 11 million litres of renewable diesel. We can see that being used in the barrier reef marine tourism sector. We have the local mining sector that's keen for that product, as well as remote communities that are still running off diesel. So a number of positives that sustainable aviation fuel provides beyond just the decarbonisation benefit. We're very fortunate, to have some great partners and backers of our business. We've got Qantas, as you know, the national carrier, Airbus, the largest aircraft manufacturer in the world, who's invested in the project. And more recently, we announced the investment from Idemitsu of Japan, who's one of the biggest oil companies in Japan, to support this project, and that's their first investment outside Japan. We then have great government backing from the Queensland State Government, who gave us initial grant funding for the feasibility work. And I'm pleased to say the federal government's really stepped up their support for the industry, particularly in the recent budget, where they announced a number of measures to progress the SAF industry in Australia, and we're looking forward to more announcements around the federal government on the SAF market. Qantas has made a commitment to use 600 million litres, or around 10% of their fuel, in SAF by 2030. We've had a number of other airlines, in addition to Qantas, keen to procure the SAF within the region, both Asian and New Zealand airlines. And so, knowing a lot of those fly into Cairns, we are excited about the opportunity of producing fuel in North Queensland for the North Queensland aviation sector.
I mean, we're really excited at Cairns Airport about the opportunity that sustainable aviation fuel provides, not just for aviation, but for the Cairns region in particular. So, in aviation terms, SAF, or sustainable aviation fuel, is the only viable option at the moment to address reducing carbon emissions in long-haul aircraft. But for aircraft to fly to countries like Japan in 2030, they're going to need 10% of their fuel has to be SAF. So there's a great opportunity for not only Australia, but specifically Far North Queensland and Cairns, to take a leading position in the production globally of SAF. One of the other great advantages in SAF is that it can be used immediately by aircraft. So it's currently certified to run up to 50% of the jet fuel mix can be SAF. It can be blended with existing jet fuel, distributed through the same infrastructure, and go into the same aircraft. So it's a really fast and efficient way for the energy industry to transition to a fuel source that reduces carbon emissions by up to 70%.
Another really exciting opportunity arising from the work that Jet Zero is looking at and building out a sustainable aviation fuel sector, one of the products is green diesel. The maritime sector in Cairns has been wrestling with this issue of how to decarbonise the marine fleet. By creating green diesel, this new sector could actually provide the answer, and that's incredibly exciting to a sector that brings millions of tourists out to our beautiful Great Barrier Reef every year.